Hi, this is Mark Laughlin speaking for the Ambidextral Gunfighter. You know, a lever gun is the best manual action for the ambidextral gunfighter or hunter. Change my mind. Well, with the stash of 7.62 NATO ammo after our review of the Desert Tech MDR a couple years back, we went looking for a rifle that would make use of this caliber. We have a bunch of leftover ammo, so I make use of it. I wanted to test the Kel-Tec RFB, but with 2020 happening, those became very scarce. The Henry Long Ranger was also a most interesting option. You know, a manual lever action with a magazine fed, so that was pretty interesting too. But also from the MDR leftovers, we had that we have on hand, we have a Voodoo Innovations muzzle brake and some extra PMags for the 7.62, and that are all compatible with the Mossberg MVP 7.62 series of rifles. The Mossberg MVP 7.62 bolt action rifles really caught our eye, and of course we're already impressed with the Mossberg 5.56 MVP Predator. So from there, do we go with one of the Mossberg's precision rifles, go with a pistol grip, or a straight stock, long barrel, or the short scout stock? The Mossberg LC with the pistol grip and the FDE light chassis aluminum stock would certainly be visually sweet for video. But for manual actions, I'm not a real big fan of pistol grips. I like to be able to work the action quickly and fast with the manual action, and that's with the thumb over the side of the stock, and also to get the exaggerated C-shaped trigger finger with the thumb on the side of the stock. And so as not to be dragging wood, or in this case polymer. The MVP long range with a 20-inch barrel and straight stock had a lot of appeal. And for our personal use, I think I would have preferred it. But the MVP Scout has some unique benefit for milking the most video content from a single rifle. Because we can test the MVP Scout with the stock Peep sights. We can test it with a 4-mounted red dot. We can test it with a conventional optic. And we can test it with the long eye relief Scout optic. The Scout concept, as proposed by Jeff Cooper, is meant to be a lightweight, relatively short, quick handling, general purpose bolt action rifle. I've always been a fan of the Jeff Cooper's booklet, Principles of Personal Defense, and have heard that the Gunsight Academy's Scout Rifle course delivers exceptional instruction on capitalizing on the Scout Rifle concept, the Scout Rifle platform. But like I said, from the ambidextral gunfighter perspective, I believe a magazine-fed lever gun is better than the bolt. But let's see if I can adapt and overcome my prejudice. The MVP Scout features a 16 1/4 inch barrel that tapers from about 1 1/4 inches of bull, make that bison barrel at the chamber, down to 0.77 inches of medium profile bull barrel at the muzzle. It looks massive, and no doubt makes a significant contribution to the rifle's 7-pound weight. It is threaded, and they include a birdcage flash hider, and which I promptly replaced with the Voodoo Innovations muzzle brake, which we had so much proved to be so effective on the Desert Tech MDR. The stock is free-floated from the barrel, but given the barrel's diameter, I doubt its harmonics would be much affected by any contact if it were not free-floated. The trigger is excellent, as you'd expect from the Mossberg MVP series, and it is adjustable. It comes from the factory with set at about a 2-pound trigger pull, so it's pretty light, but you can boost it up a little bit higher if you like. I really like the versatility of the long Picatinny rail with the embedded Peep sight. The front sight features a bright fiber optic that makes it very easy to pick it up, and it is thin enough for good precision. I think I might have preferred a winged AR style post sight for durability's sake, but even if you break the glass on this fiber optic, I think the front sight will generally still be usable in a pinch. The long Scout rail means that I can get conventional optics mounted far enough forward for the Project Appleseed style turkey neck cheat weld, as well as to accommodate those long eye relief Scout style optics. So let's look at the standards for zeroing, how we're going to zero this rifle. There's an old saying, fear the man with just one gun because he knows how to use it. Well, have no fear, as I do have more than one gun, but I do like to strive to zero my rifles for a similar trajectory, a battle sight zero. A battle sight zero where at intermediate ranges, the point of impact is about 5 inches high, with the distant zero being somewhere between 250 and 300 yards. So maybe a little trepidation is due the man who has 1 0 across all of his rifles. The MVP Scout's Peep sights are about 1 1/8 inch above the center of the bore. So to achieve my desired battle sight zero, I need the zero to be at about 14 yards. The distant zero will then be at about 260 yards. And out to 300 yards, my point of impact will be within 5 inches high and 5 inches low from the line of sight, so that I could fire a center of mass hit shot on a human silhouette and make hits, although by shooting for the belly button between 100 and 175 yards, I'd be much closer to a center of mass hit, and for say 300 to 325 yards, aiming point is about chin level for center of mass hits. 400 yards, and you're looking at top of the head for an aiming point. I do wish the rear sight was click adjustable, similar to the M1 Garand. With something like 1 minute of angle per click, you'd be within 5 clicks either up or down when going from 0 to 400 yards for added precision. So for a 14-yard zero on the Mossberg MVP Scout, I'll actually zero at 25-yard range and look to get a point of impact that is 0.8 of an inch high above my point of aim. Once we have our 14-yard near zero, we'll test at the 100-yard range and look for a point of impact 4.4 inches high from the point of aim. And then 200 yards will be about 4 inches high. And once we get back to the ambidextral gunfighter proving grounds, we'll test 300 yards, which should be about 3.5 inches low, and 400 yards will be 19 inches low. I think a battle sight zero is appropriate for a rifle that is meant to be a general purpose from hunting to gunfighting. But if your ranges are always going to be within 150 yards, then maybe a 100-yard zero will do just fine. It will be interesting to see how well I shoot the Peep sights compared to red dot or optics. Many novice shooters think you absolutely must have magnification to aim small, miss small. It does help if your marksmanship skills are solid. It does no good to have magnification if you are not consistent in your firing sequence, if you do not achieve natural point of aim, or if you are dragging wood. Check out a Project Appleseed Rifle Marksmanship Clinic to get these basics down, and then that fine optic will be money well spent. Check out our Appleseed Prep video series. Link will be in the description. Okay, here's my first group shooting prone at 25 yards, and I'm about say 1.1 inches high, and if you remember, I want to be high by about 0.8 of an inch, so 0.3 of an inch. I need to drop it down 0.3 of an inch, about 1 minute of angle approximately. Not going to be able to be exactly precise on this, and I don't know, so I need to lower this. And the way you change the sights on this is you've got set screws on both sides of the peep sight, and I've got the windage seems to be good, so I don't need to mess with that, but I do need to loosen up the windage screws. And I did apply some Loctite the other day to these to get these so they wouldn't just come loose easily, and some blue Loctite. So I need to unloosen at least one side, and then to lower the point of impact, I need to lower the rear sight. So I'll just turn the rear sight in. I'm going to say, let's try 2 turns. I'm thinking maybe one full turn, or one full turn. I'm thinking one full turn might be 1 minute of angle. We'll just have to try it and see. So now I tighten the windage screw back up, and hopefully, since I didn't loosen it up on this side, hopefully now it's back at the windage is still good, and I've lowered this rear sight a bit, hopefully enough just to bring this down to about right there is about where I want it to hit. Okay, let's repost this target. We'll try again. Okay, here's my group. Not so great. I got to do better than that, or I'm not going to do very well on the Appleseed stuff. I'm guessing it's a little bit low. The center of that group would be about right there. So I'm going to bring it back up that half a turn, and we'll try one more time. So now let's proceed and to do a Project Appleseed AQT and see how well I do with this rifle. Alright, so I posted an AQT, kind of a short form AQT down on the range. And AQT, real quick review, offhand, sitting, rapid fire prone, and slow fire prone. Simulating a silhouette target at 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, and 400 yards. All right, pretty much a kind of a dismal performance on the Project Appleseed AQT. Did a 36 on offhand, 39 sitting, and a 26 slow fire prone. Starting to notice that it's starting to kind of shift off to the right, so maybe don't have the windage quite right, because I did the same thing on the 400 yards. Only got a 20 on that stage, and I had quite a few shots off to the right. So maybe I need to recheck the zero, maybe check the sight. Let's have a look at the sight, see how it if it's come loose or something. No, it's not loose, so no problems there. Looks like the rail's still tight. So one thing I found was aggressive operation of the bolt. Really, just with the bolt action, I've kind of got to get that into my mindset to really slam that thing back and forward and not baby it. Used to semi-automatics, not used to having to load my own rounds. Sight picture, I really like the sight picture, the Peep sights. I actually find them easy to pick up and see. Mag changes a little bit sluggish on those. Reaching in front of the mag well is kind of a bit of a hassle, especially when I'm using a sling for a shooter's aid when I'm slung up. Some things I would like to see is more aggressive stippling here and there. That's just, it's almost like just decorative stippling. I don't feel like it's got, particularly extra grippy or anything. One other thing is I hate black. Would like to see this in FDE. It'd be really cool in FDE version. The reason I hate black is just because out in the summertime, in the hot Wyoming sun, the rifle gets really, really hot, and you have to keep it covered up with towels and stuff if it's laying out in the sun. So that's why I hate black. Trigger is awesome, exceptional trigger. Recoil with this muzzle brake is really mild, really manageable. I'm not sure what it's like with the birdcage flash hider, but it's probably a little bit sharper. But the muzzle brake, like it did on our MDR, really tamed that beast, and it makes this one really tame to shoot as well. The safety, when you're in the firing position, the safety, when it's in safe position and your eye is right here, you can actually see the red dot. So there were several times when I thought it was already on fire from the shooting position, and it wasn't, and so I had to actually reach up and push the safety off. So it would be, I don't know, maybe if that little hole was a little bit deeper, so that from your eye's position here, you wouldn't see the red dot unless it's forward. I don't know, maybe something on the bottom of the lever. I don't know, but anyway, don't go by the red dot whether it's safe or not. Oh, another thing for my thumbs on the side shooting position, what would be cool is especially if they can go ahead and make the stippling a little bit tougher, is to put a landing place for that side thumb position on both sides, so that it's easier to find a place for the thumb to rest, and I know it's in the right spot, and kind of get it tagged there. I'd probably, this massive barrel, it almost looks like a shotgun when you first look at it in person. Probably doesn't look the same on camera, but it looks massive, this barrel. Probably because it's short overall length, but it just looks really thick and fat. I think for me, I would rather have a 20-inch barrel and a little bit more of a medium profile rather than this bull barrel profile. And as much as I do like having this muzzle brake on here to tame the recoil, if I had the choice, I'd rather have a 20-inch barrel with a recessed crown rather than a 16-inch with some kind of muzzle device on it. My testing on the 5.56 cartridges, maybe I can do some testing on 7.62, but on my 5.56 cartridges, I found that the flash of a 20-inch barrel was about, without any flash muzzle device, or flash hider was about the same as a 16-inch barrel with a flash hider. So why not just have the little extra barrel length for a little more velocity? That's become my kind of hypothesis or theory or whatever. I think what I'll try to do is spend some more time with the rifle, with these Peep sights, see if I can suck less. You know, and maybe get them tighten up that zero a little bit better. But really, I gotta tighten up my groups more on it, and they're really not just there yet. The groups that I'm getting, and it's probably me. You know, I am using XM80 ball ammo, so it is like shit ammo, bulk. You know, bulk Army surplus type ammo, so it's not getting probably the ammo it really wants, but that's the ammo it's going to get because I got a lot of it. Anyway, I enjoyed shooting the rifle. It's a lot of fun to work the bolt, and you know, some ways it gives you that like you're doing something more than just squeezing a trigger. So and it was awkward shooting left-handed on the AQT when I'm shooting left. I did, you know, 5 shots left, 5 shots right for each stage, and reaching across to work the bolt, so I wouldn't have to change, you know, my hold with my sling support. I mean, I was able to work around it. I just liked perfectly mirrored rifles better, so I think a lever action is better for an ambidextrous shooter, or the ambidextrous gunfighter, ambidextrous hunter. But yeah, it's certainly workable with the bolt action. And for a manual action rifle, you're not really like just laying down cover fire or anything like that. So it's more meant to be a little bit more precise. Although I'm certainly not with these Peep sights, at least I'm not able to get as precise with this rifle as I am with my RDB or my AR-15. So I don't know, we'll do some more testing. We'll keep shooting it a bit with the Peep sights, and then the next thing we'll do in the next video, I'll be trying it with a red dot, and then we'll put on a 3-power conventional scope, and then for the final video on the MVP Scout, I'll put what it's meant for, a long eye relief scout scope on it. It's Mark Laughlin speaking for the Ambidextrous Gunfighter. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, so did a quick trip down to the 100-yard range to kind of check the hypothesis of our zero here, and I did find that it was shooting a little bit to the left, like we did at the 25-yard range. So I ended up making some adjustments to the sight. It's about 2 inches to the left at 100 yards, so that's 2 minutes of angle. And I thought, well, maybe it's 1 minute angle per like half turn of these Wendy's adjustments. And what I found was when I did a full turn, ended up putting me 2 inches on the other side, and so I brought it back a half a turn, and I think I'm kind of on at least. Here's my results. I got two decent hits right there. And remember, at 100 yards, I was having to shoot down here somewhere, not really being able to see any of this. I just could see that, and so I was holding down in there somewhere. And I did have one over here, a flyer here. I wish I could say it was a called flyer, but I felt like all 3 shots were, I did them right. So I don't know, just maybe I'm not getting a repeatable position on with the Peep sights. And maybe I do need an optic. Maybe my eyes are getting old. I don't know. So we'll see. It could be the ammo too. This is Army surplus ammo, but not horribly bad. That'd be like let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. If I include that flyer there, it would be 5 minutes of angle. Ideally, would like to see, shooting from field positions. Like for Appleseed, like to see about a 4 minute of angle, even with ball ammo. So we'll work on it a little bit more, and then we'll switch to optics and see if I can see if this old man's eyes work better with optics.